these different entities, especially mental health and a lot of different sector, programs for people that are incarcerated, going out, treatment centers, mental health programs and things like that. And so we want to make sure that we're always communicating, and that's what we've done well through this sector. Not me personally, us. It's a team effort. And we had, with the 2020 disaster, we were on the phone and actually having a Teams meeting every week, 2 times a week for the first year, and then we went to 1 time a week because we were doing things so quickly. And what they would do is I would call out the different sectors, like persons with disabilities, transportation, food. I had a whole list of, I think, 38 different categories, and those people would say, okay, report is blah, blah, blah. Report is we need so-and-so, we need this, this, and this. Okay, got it. Write it down. See, I'd have somebody being my secretary, which is on our COAD board. We have a secretary. We also have a treasurer. We also have 4 vices, just so you know. Many of them are colonels, retired colonel in the military. We have FEMA, retiree person that just retired from FEMA, and Homeland Security. He is on our committee now. I'm so excited because we do have the best of the best in that sector. Those are the people that if I'm not here, those people are going to take over and know exactly what to do. Because we have our disaster plan, both long-term and short-term, identified. You just have to identify what the disaster is. So that being said, I think this is perfect timing.
Right. And so when do they meet? Is it in person or?
We meet on Zoom right now, and we have been meeting face-to-face for several years, but it's because everybody's so busy and everybody's on so many different committees right now with transportation needs, housing needs, mental health, and food insecurity. We've got so many needs right now that most everybody is on something like 1 or 2 of these, so we're trying to make it as easy as we can to communicate with the COAD, and it's going to work, and we'll get back to face-to-face probably quarterly, and we had what, 80 or 90 people every meeting. I mean, we've got a huge group of people that are committed to making sure our community comes back. And because I'm meeting with the foundation, our money, which we have now in Good Samaritan, because the former person that was with the Community Foundation never could get the vision of what we were trying to do with the funds, and never could understand that transfer of that money to the foundation. It's much like what has happened, with the disaster in Texas, with the kids and all the things that happened, the horrific things that happened. What did they have out all the time? They had that QR code on the TV constantly. That QR code will be our QR code for Hamilton County COAD that will go straight to the foundation. That'll be your recovery money to help the community, whether it's the commissioners, the local council, the mayors, help recover the community. And that is what you want. You want to take advantage of that. You don't want a lot of donations coming in that may not be something that's critical to the need that you have for those people, because many of the things like Henryville, when they had the tornado down in Henryville, southern Indiana, I was down there and I saw it. They had 2 rest areas that were pyramided up, huge, probably 200 feet, full of donations that no one could use, and it costs more money to have that hauled away than if they had just waited. Don't do that. Don't donate yet. We're not ready to tell you we need water, we need this, we need that. And they just kept bringing things. So we're trying to run ahead of that so that when we have a disaster that we're already ready, which we are.
Right.
I
So,
mean,
so is it once a month, or when do you?
Yeah, we meet once a month right now because we're trying to form these committees, because if you can imagine, when all this happened, we had 4 executive directors retire, which were, rock stars in our community, and it was very hard to replace those people and get those people, the new people, the young people, to understand the vision of what we were trying to do. It's not an easy sell, because nobody wants to think about a disaster and nobody wants to think about preparation for a disaster. But what better way of protecting your community if you're all working together and have some sort of a communication process? We're hoping not to have to meet every month, but until we get all the positions filled, and we almost have all of our positions filled on all of our committees, then we want to make sure we meet so that we don't miss anything.
Right,
Does that
right.
make
So
sense?
I was going to
Any
say, I've been
questions?
attending all the COAD meetings. I'd volunteer to be a point person if we needed that. But when Kelly and I were talking about inviting Nancy to come in and talk to us, we said there wasn't anybody that was a point person for the disability community. And we thought because we have a good interaction with all the surrounding cities, it would be good to have Nancy come in and present to us.
Absolutely,
yeah.
And not realizing that the summit was going to be in 2 days.
Right, gotcha. Well, that's great. Anybody else have any questions for Nancy? Okay.
Well, I want to thank you
Well,
for
we
all
will,
you did.
we'll get back with you. I think, well,
fine.
it'd be great to have Wilbur there,
Yeah.
because he's already there, and we appreciate that, so,
Well, I
thank
want to
you.
thank the city of Fishers and all of the activity that was so integral in that recovery and the recovery process for the Fishers having health department and bringing forth all this effort that you all did. And I'm very proud to serve with those people as well as a lot of your people in the community here, because we have our business here. So I just wanted to be, you know, inclusive of everybody and start trying to talk to people, and you're the first, so just so you know.
Absolutely, all right. Thank you very much,
Thank you.
appreciate it. Thank you
all
for
what
coming.
you do.
Nancy.
Okay, we have another speaker this evening, Mindy Cooley with Cool Abilities and Parent Network. Welcome. Hi.
This is Patrice Smith with the City Center.
Hi.
She's going to be up here presenting with me. We're two of the leadership team members of the Westfield Family Network. So we're gonna-
Molly, do you know if we get the PowerPoints up front, if there's a way to?
Yeah, I didn't bring printouts of the PowerPoint.
Or we can just zip that, turn one of those
Yeah, or
TVs
we can
around.
turn our heads, but normally they show them right here in the front.
It's always,
Are these not even turned on?
I don't know, but it would just be a lot easier, because it's a big screen and it's like, oh, here he comes, he's coming, thank you.
Yeah, I do.
yeah, that makes more sense.
There we go.
All set? You guys can see it? Great. Wonderful. Thank you for the introduction. I'm Mindy Cooley. This is Patrice Smith. We are two of the 7 of the leadership team for the Westfield Family Network. We're excited to present this project to you tonight. So this is a community-driven network for families with disabilities. Our tagline is all in for all abilities. So why would this kind of network be important right now in Indiana? We know that social isolation is a crisis. It's a crisis for everyone, but for people with disabilities, there are a lot of reasons that families that have a disability or caring for someone with a disability become more isolated. In our town, our community, it's growing rapidly, so that was another reason that we wanted to have a network. And we know that there's an opportunity that exists within Westfield right now to build social capital amongst the people living in the community that are taking care of people with disabilities and the community at large. And research shows us that when families are connected and have meaningful relationships in their community, that they they have a better quality of life. And that meaningful participation means that they are able to participate in inclusive community activities. So what is a family network? A family network is a connected group of people that are living, having a similar life experience related to either having a disability or taking care of someone with a disability. This family network concept is based on a theory. It's called the Families Community Model. I need to take a step back so I can kind of look up at my slides a little bit more. It centers around two things, family peer support and community development. And what the family network concept does through the Connected Families model is that it helps to build social capital within the disability community and to the community at large. So when you think about it, families that are able to connect with their community and bring their gifts and address community challenges and really be heard in their community, their quality of life improves, and they also are able to collaborate with each other and within the community. We know that there are a lot of systems in place that support people with disabilities and their families, like state systems, government systems, but sometimes it's that peer-to-peer connected grassroots, your social system, that makes the difference when some of these other systems fail. So that's just a little bit of what a family network is. And so what is the Westfield Family Network? We are the go-to network in our community for support, connection, and advocacy. We are a peer-led group of families that work together to support one another, as well as engage in our local organizations. We are the bridge that builds between families, schools, city, healthcare, all of those organizations that are in the community that all citizens touch and take part of. What we work on is supporting those existing resources to help make sure that they are inclusive, that they are accessible, and that they are keeping people with disabilities in mind. Right now, this project is a pilot project. It's funded through the Governor's Council for People with Disabilities. There are 4 pilots in the state of Indiana: Westfield, Gary, Indiana, Marshall-Stark County up in Elkhart area, and Evansville. So all together right now, we are the Indiana Consortium of Family Networks. The grant project is running through 1 more year from now to the end of September 2026. And we'll, along the way, be working to collect data and hoping to keep ours going, but also creating more, which is one of the reasons why we're here tonight, because we wanted to share that with you guys. So this is the leadership team. Patrice is our amazing marketing and communications advisor. We also have some strategic people on our team that are really good at things like nonprofit, data, and then also we have a link to our Mayor's Council for People with Disabilities through Nicole Sutherland. She is the lead of our Mayor's Council. And then also some key members on our leadership team serve on that council as well. So Bridget, she serves on the Workforce Development Task Force of the Westfield Mayor's Council. Patrice is participating in the Accessibility Task Force. I help lead the Community Engagement Task Force for the Mayor's Council. So there's a lot of overlap. Some of that, we built that in when we wrote for the grant, but then some of it also has the momentum of the Family Network as creating these things where we're starting to intertwine even more, because we really see how they go together. So the vision and mission of the Westfield Family Network is to see our community as a space where all families have rightful presence, they're accepted and supported with inclusive attitudes and a sense of belongingness. We work towards cultivating a thriving community where all the families are empowered to be able to lead and be stronger and more unified, so that if somebody's having a hard day, they have not just one person that they can call, but they have several people that they can reach out to for that support and advocacy if they need help. So we did a survey back in June, and out of the 4 pilots, Westfield had the most responses thanks to this one's marketing plan. It was amazing. So we got out there and had really good reach right away. So 115 families reported back to us on our survey, and the majority of the people that answered that survey said things like they feel disconnected to the broader community. They feel like they're not understood. They feel like they don't exactly belong in the whole community, and they don't really know where to find supports. But something that really hit home for me is that 31% of the people that reported in the survey that they rely on themselves only. And 90% of the people that answered the survey said that they have less than 2 sources of support, one of them being themselves. So it really showed the picture of a need for a network of connection, of peer-to-peer connection. So a couple quotes from the survey. These were some powerful things we pulled out. Someone said that we want to be a part of things, but we just don't know where to start. That we want to be able to meet another parent who just gets it. And someone said that they wish they knew who to call when they have questions. So out of that initial survey in June, which we will repeat 2 more times before the grant period ends, our top 3 needs that the Family Network is working towards right now is inclusive events where their children feel welcome, clear and simple information with available supports. So we've launched a website, we're doing some social media, we're creating other opportunities where people can get a hold of resources and information. We're engaging in a lot of the activities that are out there in the community, like disability fairs and things like that, so that we can spread resources around and help people to be connected. And then connecting with other families, navigating similar experiences. So we're working on how we can help these families that are coming to us and being a part of the network, how we can figure out how they can meet each other. And that's really the work that we're doing right now. We're kind of post our launch. Something else that came out of the survey that was really something that I think we all know, but it was also like, it just confirmed what we do know. 15% of our respondents identified as not white, Hispanic, Asian, multiracial. We collected responses in Spanish and English. And so of those families, they reported even lower ratings of feeling welcome, having a sense of belongingness. And it just tells us that when we are reaching out, we need to make sure that we reach out to everyone and go after that picture of what our community looks like. And that sometimes people that are not white in our community might not feel they need to be invited and reached out and connected to, because they might not be reaching out and coming to things naturally. They're feeling even more isolated. When we asked families what they want for their loved ones, this was really cool. Patrice and I also serve on our Special Education Parent Advisory Council in our school district. So we talk a lot about students, their vision, their goals, where they're going. And so it was really cool to hear from the community, because a lot of the people that responded did have school-age children, but some had family members with disabilities that were, out of school. That they really still have high expectations for their loved ones. The areas that were a little bit lower, things that we know that we are working on and need to work on, with the exception of having romantic relationships, they're on their own on that one. But having a place to live, that they can choose where they live, and they have a place that they like living, and then also being able to participate in some kind of post-secondary education. Those are 2 things that we feel like, the organizations in our town and in our county, there's already a lot of people working on that, and that is still something that the families are feeling like they don't, they're not putting so much weight into that, probably because they feel like that's not achievable. But they do have other expectations, like having friends, being connected with family. So the Westfield Family Network and the Westfield Mayor's Council on Disability Connection. Our Mayor's Council on Disability in Westfield has been around for about 4 years now. We're working on becoming codified this year. We'll be at the summit in 2 days. It's very exciting. I know. So that, when you look at that with the Family Network project that's happening right now, the Mayor's Council, that's our connection to our local government. They are the voice for us. We can bring things to them. They work on things like our council works on 4 task force. Workforce development, community engagement, safety, which, by the way, that would really fall in well, Nancy, to what you were talking about. I was telling Patrice that our safety task force we would go to that task force within our Mayor's Council to find someone for your organization, for your group. And so the safety and then accessibility. Yes. Did I hit them all? You did. Okay, thanks. And then the Westfield Family Network, we are the bridge to the community. So the Westfield Family Network, the leadership on the network, but then also the people engaged in the network, we are that bridge. We are the people that the Mayor's Council are working for and with. So we're designed to respond to the gaps that those families talked about in the survey data. Through the Connected Families model, they recognize that the family network leaders, so Patrice and I and the other 5, that we are the gappers. And that's a term that comes from asset-based community development. There's a QR code on your take-home sheet that talks a little bit more about asset-based community development. You could totally nerd out on it. It's awesome stuff. I mean, when we think about like helping people that don't have a voice, that is it right there. It's really neat stuff to read about. So gappers is a term within that research that talks about the people that are in the gap between the systems and the communities. And though that is a family network. So there's a fundamental need for both, for a local government connection like the Westfield, like the Mayor's Council on Disabilities, and family networks. So State of the Union right now, what's going on with the Westfield Family Network? Our current reach is about 600 people. And we had, like I said, the best initial survey in June. We are establishing our brand right now. The launch is happening. We had an awesome launch party in August. And we're continuing to get good reach. So I'm going to give the microphone to Patrice to just talk a little bit about marketing plan and how she came about the creation of that plan and how we've executed it so far.
Awesome, thank you. So much of marketing is about storytelling. And so as a team, we decided that we did not want to rush into like launching these big events. We wanted to pause, get strong branding. So our logo, as you can see, it's the heart and it's our colors from our Westfield city. And there's even some tie-ins from like CPAC and just things that are sentimental to us from our community standpoint. So we realized that after we had our launch event that we made the right decision by approaching our branding first, the marketing plan, because when you work backwards, you're able to, number one, keep your heart in check. Yeah, you had these big goals, but if we don't start from the very beginning with something that's believable and that ties into people's stories, then they don't care. They don't care if they drive by and see a Westfield Family Network sign. They want to know, what does that have to do with me? But when they see that heart and underneath it, it says all in for all abilities, then they're going to lean in. I'm a mom of a special needs kiddo. She has Leigh syndrome. She's 15 years old. She's technically not even supposed to be here by textbook definition. But I'm always looking for, where can I go as a whole family? And so when we were putting everything together for the marketing plan, for the logos, we wanted to make sure that everybody felt included because she has complex needs. So it's great to see things for the autism kids and kids that have Down syndrome, but we're talking about the medically complex kids too. So we were definitely proud of our all in for all abilities because some kiddos, their only ability may be their smile. Like my kiddo's nonverbal. She's in a wheelchair, but her smile, nobody has a better smile than my Sydney, you know? So starting with the logo, our great tagline, then we moved on to looking at the marketing plan and we were like, okay, we're all busy mamas. How can we realistically help families but without neglecting our own kiddos? And so we put together this marketing plan that was realistic. It wasn't anything that was like far stretched, but we said we have to have a key launch event so that we can feel like, okay, this is actually happening, because you can dream all day, you can brainstorm. But when we all gathered in that park that had accessible equipment and we saw these families from our community come out because they saw some of the promotions, we knew that it's on. Let's go. It's go time. So it was just really neat to work as a team to put together the launch event, knowing that we did all these other detailed things. Project management is not something that I love, but I do think that we realized doing something from the ground up in a collaborative way, it's so key to just know that at the end of the day, yes, we're making a difference, but we can also sustain it. And so one of the things that I think is important as we're meeting with other networks, whatever you do, it's okay to believe in it, to have the passion. But if you don't have the systems in place, you're going to fail your community, you're going to fail your families. And so my background as a communications director, I was able to pull in some of my previous systems from my previous role. And I said, what do you guys think? And they were all in, and we just made it happen. And so now I'm excited because now we get to some of the other dreams that we have, like sharing the stories from our community through a podcast and on the website, tying in more testimonials and things like that. So I do think I have like the fun part of the network, getting to do the communications and the marketing. But the best part is when you see the fruit of what you're doing behind the scenes. Like when you see those kids coming, it's like, oh my gosh, and the moms connecting with other mamas. Like on my journey early on, it was so isolating. And so when Mindy reached out to me, I was so humbled, and I just gave her my yes right away. And I just knew that our community needed this. And so I don't know if there's anything else you want me to add, but
Perfect.
okay.
I remember early on, we didn't even really know what we were doing yet. It's really evolved. So right now, as we're post-launch, post that big launch event, we're beginning that work of connecting the peers. We have a website. We met people at the park that we didn't know yet. We've had some media coverage. So people are coming to us. So now we're having these conversations, and we're beginning that work of connecting peers and amplifying their voices. We're bringing more people to our mayor's council to engage and bring their voice that way. And we're working on some of the events that are already happening in Westfield through Westfield Welcome on making them more inclusive to all, so all families can come and be a part. We're also working with our school district, so we'll be a part of some of the school events, community-based events like the homecoming parade. We're going to be there, and finding a way for everybody to be able to be at that event if they want to, and to be able to engage and find the family network and connect. So what's cool about this grant and this project is the Governor's Council for People with Disabilities is the money bags behind it, like they're funding it, but they are working with a consulting group that has done this model in other states. So they give us technical assistance. So that's why, like, when we first got together, we were like, okay, we're gonna do this. But along the way, we can continue to learn and grow, and they are helping us do that. So our year one objectives are to continue that comprehensive branding and marketing campaign. We want everyone in Westfield to know the Westfield Family Network and what it is, and what is the Mayor's Council with Disabilities, and what is our CPAC. Because all three of those councils, those two councils in the network, all are working to support people with disabilities and work with people with disabilities. But it's important that the messaging is clear, so we're working on that. We want to reach 500 plus families. We've already exceeded that goal. We want to build 10 or more cross-sector partnerships. That's the community development piece of the Family Network. So beginning to, we're launching and supporting events that the school is doing and helping to make them more inclusive and things like that. And also working with a lot of the other agencies and nonprofits across Westfield, and even reaching out, beyond Westfield into Hamilton County. We say if you work, live, or play in Westfield, you're a part of the Family Network. And then we are going to resurvey our families too along the way to see if some of that data, that quality of life data, improves. And we expect it to. So our call to action for this group today, thank you so much for your time, for us to be able to share this with you. And it's just the beginning of the conversation, because I know we all get to work together through our council relationships. But we would love for you all to share the message of the Family Network that we are all in for all abilities in Westfield, and consider if your office or your organization could partner with us somehow through resources, through ideas, through things like that, because a lot of us on this team we're all in different journeys. Like, some of our team members have been in the community for 20 plus years, been supporting people with disabilities for that long as well, and then some of us are a little bit newer. So any way that you can help support us with resources, wisdom, information would be great. So thank you for being a part of us helping to grow the network by doing this presentation tonight. Together, we are all in.
Great, thank you. Wow, that's exciting. Yeah, I know, we have probably lots of questions, so Kelly, go ahead, Kelly.
I can go back to slides if you would like.
No, I have a question though. So in Indiana, we have the Family to Family Network. Tell me how you guys interact with them and what you do that's different.
Yes. So they are like a statewide organization. Actually, I'm presenting as part of their Heart to Heart conference they do every year.
Me too.
In September. So they are more of that, kind of like your statewide organization, like Down Syndrome Indiana, the ARC, the Westfield Family Network. And family networks are grassroots, working within a community, peer-to-peer connection, and then also connecting to that community. Like for Westfield, we want Westfield, like the growth that's happening in Westfield, we want people with disabilities to have a voice. So, so that's kind of, we're working more grassroots, community-based.
And my second question is, if the grant is over, how do you become sustainable without that money?
We don't have the answer yet.
Okay.
But that is those cross-partnership connections that we're starting to make, being introduced to different foundations, explaining what we're doing, and figuring out like how that funding can continue. The Aligned Consulting Group that is helping us, they have a lot of ideas that they will be helping us with as well. We don't have that all nailed down yet, but that is coming quickly. So I feel like I'm in 3 sections. I do launch, and now, right now, post-launch, I'm in connecting families and doing that peer
We call that survival. Well, so welcome to Indiana. That's how every project goes. Okay, good, awesome.
Does anyone else have other questions for Molly? Okay. So do you have a website, like with the resources? Because
We
we,
don't have a lot of resources on it yet, but we have a landing page and a way for people to say, I'd like to be in the network and please contact me. And then we're building out resources, we're building out our events. And we are pretty much anywhere that the Mayor's Council for People with Disabilities is at right now in the community. The Westville Family Network is also there connecting with families. We nestle right into the community engagement task force of the Mayor's Council. Because that's about the public, yep.
right, okay.
And do you guys, so do you have a 501(c) associated?
No, we do not. It's run through my LLC, Cool Abilities, so we use my EIN number, but we're not a nonprofit.
Not yet. Okay.
Well, I'm happy to connect. So what we have found, through this journey, also myself being a special needs parent of now a young adult daughter, that every city doesn't have all the resources in one place. Like sometimes you have to go to Westfield or go to Carmel or go to Noblesville to get whatever activity or thing. So I would love just to share like some of the activities that my daughter's involved with, especially young adults. I mean, I know for myself, I'm very plugged into the young adults, but but I'm sure that we all have a lot of great resources here. So happy to, like, Darcy's a part of the brain injury group. I mean, we yeah, so all of us we come from kind of different walks of life in the disability space. So let us know what you're looking for, or if you could give us your contact information, maybe we can all shoot you an email with different resources for you to.
Kelly and I got to have a 45 minutes to an hour together, and she helped me, you gave me, that was a jam-packed hour. What do you need?
It's because I talk a lot.
And I was just typing away. So yeah, we have a list of like community partners that we're making appointments with, to share this kind of presentation with. And then, yeah, so I'll send a follow-up email to you all, and maybe we can get time together to just talk, and figure out like, yeah, how we can plug in with like any resources that you all have that you can share, and different ways that we can continue to, share from you and get things rolling.
Great.
It's like I'm plugged in pretty well to the kids. My guys are small, so like I know like you want to talk about outpatient therapy, I can help you with all that and stuff like that. But like some of the other stuff, not so much. And like you have so many resources with medical complex and with micro school and things like that.
Great.
You guys are gonna be, somebody's coming on Thursday?
I'm hoping so. So I have a nonprofit called the Sydney Center. We have a micro school that just launched this year. And so I am living into so many new things. And so I'm going to do my best to be there. But this school requires all hands on deck. So, yeah, so I'll do my best.
Yeah, and I believe Nicole Sutherland will be there. She leads our mayor's council. I'll be there. I know Bridget won't be there because she's an educator in the Noblesville schools. But yeah, I'll definitely, I'll send a follow-up, and I'm project lead for this, so I can kind of follow up with everybody about this presentation, and then I serve as Nicole's community engagement lead, so I connect right to her and kind of report to her for the mayor's council that way. So anything that goes back and forth and fits into the mayor's council and the other task force, I can communicate that way.
Great. Okay. Well, thank you, ladies. Great work.
Thanks,
Appreciate it. Okay, we're going to move on to new business now, and share a little bit about September is Deaf and Hard of Hearing Month, and we wanted to share and recap the initiative that started back in March with closed captioning here in Hamilton County. So we're trying to get the word out again about this initiative that's a county-wide initiative to help establishments, businesses understand the importance of closed captioning, and so we have some slides. So Molly, were you going to present, or do you want me to talk about it, or?
I'll let you take it and I can progress the slides. Does that
Okay, so
work?
you're going to do the slides.
All
Okay,
right.
so this is the past slide there. That's a great, the one before the previous one there. September is Deaf Awareness Month. So we're hoping to get some social media content out there this September to bring more awareness about our deaf and hard of hearing community. So we really appreciate it. And Jason is not here. Jason Wagner represents the deaf community, and he isn't able to be in person today, but so I'm going to kind of recap for him what's going on. We have a partnership with Hamilton County Tourism, and we've partnered with them and the other cities in Hamilton County, the major cities, they are helping us to do a media campaign that's been ongoing since the spring to educate the community on the importance of turning on closed captioning, how simple it can be, and then giving them a little bit of information about how it works with your settings or with your streaming service or media devices. And then there is a logo decal that businesses can display to show their commitment to, having at least one television set up for closed captioning, and it helps everybody. It helps to help all people that are of all ages. And so there is a quick guide that they put together. This is all on the Hamilton County Tourism website, but I believe that, right, Molly, that we're going to be pushing this out, Fishers is, on some of these things and why it's important. And so here are some information on why it's important, and what we are looking to have people understand. And so here are some slides. These are just some slides for everyone to kind of see, and on the meeting notes and video that we're doing, people can see what's going on with this closed captioning. If you could cue the video,
With
that
music.
would be great.
All across the United States, families and friends meet up in restaurants and pubs to celebrate events, special occasions, or just to keep in touch. For many people, the experience is a positive one, but for others, it may not always be a positive experience.
When I go out to eat with my friends or family, restaurants often don't have televisions with closed captions on. And like many people with hearing loss, we rely on closed captions to understand what is happening on the television for TV shows, news, and sports. It's very frustrating to me because I am deaf and I cannot understand what is happening on the television or hear anything on it. And I feel completely left out, and I should not have to ask for the captions to be turned on. But captions aren't just for deaf people though. My hearing friends and family often cannot understand what is happening on the television because of the loud noises of a restaurant. And even then, the television often might not have sound turned on, and that's not equal access for everyone.
Over 30 years ago, the Americans with Disabilities Act was passed into law in 1990. Braille, ramps, and curb cuts are now commonplace all over the country. No one asks for a ramp or braille because they are required and available. No one should have to ask for closed captions to be turned on. Closed captions on, always and at all times, everywhere. It is the right thing to do. No one will be left out.
And so here are some of the partners that are, working alongside the county to get this going. And I wish Nancy was still here, but with the COAD, with emergency response, the other thing that we talked about was that in an emergency situation, they.
About women and wealth. And I have three baller women here that can touch every part of this topic. As my opening lightning round, I am going to...
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's not me, okay.
YouTube. There we go.
In emergency situations, like the gentleman said in the video, when you're in a establishment where there's a lot going on, it's very loud, and sometimes there could be an emergency too, and that's how they're going to share information with you, and you may not know. So another partner in this is the Indiana Restaurant and Lodging Association, INRLA, and they've been great. And so I urge the community to encourage, your friends who own businesses here in the county, Westfield. I don't know how much they're doing that, but we're trying to really get the word out in the month of September about the closed captioning and the importance. We have actually a large percentage of individuals who are deaf and hard of hearing living in Hamilton County because of the proximity to the deaf school, and a lot of our residents also work in the surrounding areas for universities and things. It's very important, and we've learned a lot through Jason Wagner and the group of representatives from the deaf and hard of hearing that are providing us with a lot of feedback and information so that we can all learn and improve and help them be more inclusive for them as well. So thank you. All right. Does anyone have any questions on the closed captioning or anything? I wish Jason was here, but okay. Next up is we wanted to share a little bit about our committee was invited to tour the new Fishers Community Center, which will open up November 1st, I believe, is when they're opening. And so most of us, we went over there, and I think we have some pictures that we wanted to show. We have some updates that we wanted to let our community know. We went around, and some of the suggestions was a wheelchair evacuation chair for to be able to bring people who are in wheelchairs down from the second floor to the first floor, strobe lights that are positioned in key areas for viewing, so in case there is an emergency, those that are deaf and hard of hearing could hear, and there was some or know that there's an emergency or something. Also adding accessible buttons to some of the exits and doors. Our committee had gone to the planning group for the community center, and we had given a lot of great recommendations, and then, once you put eyes on something, then it helps to kind of see, okay, are we missing anything? And the one other thing that Jason talked about was just making sure that we have closed captioning for the classes and for like the bike classes. So that was very enlightening, and they took notes, and they're gonna take it and work on their team to add those improvements and make those accommodations. They're buying 2 water wheelchairs. So one of the things I know, Wilbur, we gave a lot of suggestions on the pool and to make it so that people with wheelchairs could utilize the pool and everything. So that's exciting to have water wheelchairs. Here's a picture of us. you know, we had some pictures, and it's really impressive. It's gonna be great. One of the recommendations we had provided was where to put the changing areas and restrooms and make it more accessible. And here's a picture of the adult changing table and that was very key and needed. And the sinks where wheelchairs can roll in. And then here's an example of the ramp where you can ramp in or wheel in through the ramp and access the pool. The pool is really neat, really great. So here are some pictures of some of the things. There's an indoor playground and the indoor walking and running track. That was something when the city had surveyed the community, one of the top things was people wanted an indoor track that they could use. And that track will be free for the Fishers community to use. Sam's Community Cafe, that will also be accessible to the general public to get food, coffee, a seating area, that'll be great. Community rooms that non-for-profits and organizations can use to meet up. The aquatic center and sauna, I mean, it's state-of-the-art stuff, and there's gonna be a lot of great things with that. They are offering memberships right now, so if you're interested, please go to the FishersCommunityCenter.com website. And are there any questions from our committee about that, about the center, anything?
I have a question. Originally, in the plan, outside the box was going to have facilities in there, and that's not happening. What changed?
Well, at the end of the day, I think there was some needs that, couldn't be accommodated on both sides, I guess. And it's unfortunate it didn't work out, but with that being said, they're looking at other ways in which to provide programming for people with disabilities as it relates to workforce within the community center, adaptive programming. Those conversations are evolving, but unfortunately it didn't quite work out at the end of the day. I don't know if.
I knew you were gonna make me say something. The coolest thing about a thriving community is that as things grow, the need also grows, right? I mean, and I think that there was a vision for what outside the box could have in this invitation, and also a vision for what the city wanted to be able to provide. And the logistics of it are that the rec centers, the needs of the general community have grown such that the space is pretty tight. And the waiting list, and 100 people on a waiting list, and the people we're serving currently at the outside the box Fishers location, the original terms, we can't fit in there anymore, the way that it was originally planned. And truth be told, we probably need more space than we even thought we did, because we're growing. So unfortunately, the result may be that at this point, outside the box may have to leave the Fishers area, because that was part of the reason we came here, was to have space and be able to make it affordable. But it's a lot of things, and I know the door remains open with the city of Fishers for us to use that as a place that our folks can, thrive in this community, but it will not be the home of outside the box.
One of the things I was hoping was that there would be opportunities for people with different abilities to serve in the cafeteria and things like that. I just thought that would be a good training. That sounds like that's kind of.
There's conversations right now with that, and so more to come. So right now they're trying to figure out how some of these needs, as custodial needs and things like that, workforce needs are gonna play out. So right now, conversations are being had of programs that we can plug our folks with disabilities there, so that'll be great. So, all right, and next we have an update on engagement with nature at Conner Prairie and working with Michelle Morton.
And I can
So-
go ahead and give an
Okay,
update on that,
perfect.
if that's all right. So today I met with Michelle Morton from Conner Prairie. She's in charge of doing all of the nature engagement programming, and she was excited to tell me about a bird ability program that she's expanding right now. And so as she gets that developed, she wanted to share the promotional materials with us to share out to our community and network to invite folks to come and participate in activities that they're doing out in nature for everybody.
Did you say bird?
Bird,
Like,
like tweet, tweet.
that's awesome.
So bird watching, bird appreciation,
cool.
for all abilities.
Awesome. Do they have a timeline or?
Not quite yet. I think she's still formulating and programming and putting it all together, but she asked that once she has that together, if she shares it with me, I can share it out to the committee and you can give it to all of your contacts to increase participation.
Wonderful.
There's actually 3 eagles nests on the property, on the trail, which is pretty
Oh,
cool.
wow, that's exciting. That's really cool. Well, thank you, Molly. Next, we have some exciting news, and maybe Kelly can kind of give us a little bit of a recap. I know you and Molly have been working on more of the details, but we are going to be having a advisory committee on disability summit that's this week on Thursday. And we've invited the local advisory committees on disability from Indianapolis, Lawrence, Westfield, Carmel, Noblesville. Who am I missing? Westfield, Carmel.
Lawrence,
Yeah,
Noblesville,
Lowell,
Indianapolis,
okay.
Carmel, Westfield, Fishers.
And we are excited. We've got 3 hours of a lot of brainstorming and things that we're going to be doing, and it's something that we've been getting inquiries about. Hey, what is Fishers doing? How can we work together? What is each city doing? What's worked? What hasn't worked? How can we collaborate on things? So we're really excited, and I don't know if you want to share a little bit more, Kelly, about kind of like what the day will look like, but we'll be excited to share some updates at the December Advisory Committee on Disability meeting.
I mean, I think we planted the seeds in Fishers fairly early, and then a lot of people expanded from what success we were having. And so this is a really cool way to pull a region together, because really, if you look at the groups, they are connecting cities. And so I think there's a couple hopes. One, that we are able to connect with one another, figure out, is there some outcomes for the entire region that we would like to accomplish? What cities might we want to target to go and develop new advisory committees to expand our reach? So we're going to talk about what's worked over the years for Fishers, in addition to some get to know you stuff, but also we're going to break into brainstorming sessions where groups who are forced to sit with people they don't know, right, are going to be at tables, and we'll have scribes, and we're going to think of speed dating. You get 8 minutes to discuss this. We'll have a scribe that goes to each table and talks about current successes, what are our ongoing challenges, what's the culture in our communities around employing people with different abilities, and then what resources to share. And then the scribes will share the highlights, and we're going to have each city basically share something that's worked really, really well in their community, and hopefully set forth kind of what does it look like? What do we want to accomplish as a region next? And should we do this annually and that kind of stuff? So I'm excited about it. We should have a good time. And I know those of you that are going to be there will be tapped upon to be scribes. So I will let you know.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys. It'll be great.
Any questions about the summit? We're really excited to host everybody. So more to come in December about what came about with that meeting, so that's exciting. We're gonna move on to October initiatives. Any updates on employment or reverse job fair with Chrissy and Michelle?
So, we had broached the topic with a couple different people about doing the event that we've typically been doing in March, maybe looking at doing it in October again, and it kind of lost some fizzle. But I know that Kelly's still working to put something together that she's offered to lead a workshop and kind of go from there, so that she was gonna try and tie up some details.
Yeah, so we're, I should know tomorrow if we have a place, hoping to get Crisis Savior, because I happen to go there, so I can get space pretty easily. They're big supporters of the disability community. So at the very least, the last week of October, we plan to do a resume workshop and, skill building, interview skill building workshop the last week of October, and we'll have the details to share with you guys very soon.
Wonderful.
One of the other things that I had thought about and kind of just actually jotted it down after I talked to my job coaches is even just sending our employers some thank you cards. Thank you for working with us, thank you for the partnership, and, encouraging them if they have other, sites, other places to reach out to school districts to see how they can become partners, because there's plenty of places that we work that they've got other businesses or other whatever,
Do we
in
have any
Westfield or
type of,
Carmel or
like,
anything like that.
station, I mean, we can take the logo and just put it on a postcard or something, but do any type of like stationery or something we can print something?
We don't have stationery, but that would be a good idea, Molly, to at least have something like that, or a card, to be able to write notes, or,
Or just the.
a logo
website
with
or something.
stationery, to do
Yeah.
something like that.
Get you letterhead or.
Letterhead.
That would be
City
great.
officials cards.
That would be fabulous.
yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
thank
That'd
you.
be great. And Kelly, if it doesn't work out with them, I recently had a conversation with some faith-based organization representatives, and they're interested in becoming, more involved with disabilities, and so perhaps, we can, make some calls to
and I
see if
think
we
if-
can find another location.
Maybe if we did, I think I'll be able to get the location pretty easily, but maybe even if we have like the little resume building interview thing in the morning, maybe we could have a bring your own lunch, just a little lunchtime chat, and if 5 people show up, great, and if 20 people show up, great.
Yeah.
And we'll talk about, why do you hire people with disabilities, and go over some of the things that we have in the past, like the myths and that kind of stuff, but make it more small and intimate. And if we could touch base with some of our current employers and maybe have them bring somebody with them, that'd be great.
So, yeah, I mean,
we're
if we
gonna
get
pull
that
it
out,
off. We're
have
gonna
it
pull
all
something off.
together. We
Yeah.
just need to find, the venue and all that, so I have no doubt
We'll
that
know-
we'll be able to do something
We'll know
for.
tomorrow.
And we can share that with our
Networking group.
networking
Yeah.
group too.
If they aren't, let me know, I'll ask and see if Grace can. They typically can only host stuff on Fridays, because.
I just know Fridays, October, that week is
Right.
Halloween, so
Right.
everybody's gonna be getting their outfits ready
I have a wedding.
for the trick or treating.
Gotcha. So, yeah, so October is Disability Employment Month, and so I'm hoping too, Molly, that we could get with Ashley and put out on social media just some statistics, some things that we've done in the past, again, just to kind of educate the community more about, think about this, and understand, that there's so many people that are able and willing to work and be part of a organization and contribute to our community, so.
The one last comment I want to, when you turn on the news and talk locally about disability services and Medicaid, and we talk about how we have this big deficit and everybody's cutting this and cutting that, I think one of the things we need to hone in on that we really haven't in the past is that when people are employed, they're happier. So you get higher life satisfaction when you're employed. There's greater morale amongst the team of all employees when you hire somebody with a disability. And when people are happy, they don't need as many reactive services. And so really encompassing that thought for people that, this isn't a charity initiative. This is hiring the best person for the job, but it also it can have a ripple effect on all things in our community.
Okay. Okay, well, the next topic of discussion is, we had not realized, or I did not until Molly pointed out, it's actually our 10-year anniversary of having the Fishers Advisory Committee on Disability for next year.
Wow.
So,
Next year's our
Time flies
10-year?
our 10-year anniversary. So with that, we do need to kind of, and maybe we could throw out some ideas right now, just while we're here. We've got a few minutes, but we do need to hold a meeting and kind of start talking about what we want to do for March with that theme of celebrating 10 years. So think about it. If you have some quick thoughts right now, happy to hear what you have to say, but, think about it, and then we'll get a meeting set up to figure that out, because March will be here before we know it, and we actually do have the dates already planned for the kickoff and for My Point of View Day, so I'll share them, I'll send them out via email, so you have those dates reserved, but are there any questions about that?
I think we need a big party.
Yes.
I know.
Let's have a
it'd be
cocktail
nice.
hour.
It'd be nice.
Okay, so just so you know, the kickoff is on March 2nd. Is that correct? Yes. The arts reception is March 13th. And My Point of View Day will be, the mayor's breakfast will be Wednesday, March 25th.
Okay, great, all right. Sounds good, all right. Well, that's exciting, 10 years, it's gone by so fast. It's hard to believe, like 10 years. All right, so we, in the last 15 minutes here, we'll just do a quick committee updates. Wilbur, you have anything to
I just
update
want to
us
let you
on
know, I've
housing?
been attending the Hamilton County Housing Collaborative meetings, and we, as a county, we're trying to put together a land trust, which could be in Fishers, Westfield, Carmel, it could be Noblesville, it could be anywhere, but the land trust would be owned by Hamilton County. One of the biggest problems we have in all of Hamilton County is affordable housing. And if you look at any housing, probably between $50,000 and $100,000 of the house is property. With a land trust, the land trust owns the property, and they lease it for a very nominal amount to the homeowner who builds on it. But the homeowner owns the building, but they never own the property, kind of like a condominium, I guess. The income off of the land trust is both rental that they charge for the land, which may only be $100 a year. That has to be decided. But then if the property's ever sold and there's equity in the property, it's split between the land trust and the homeowner. So the homeowner still can build equity, but at the same time, the land trust develops equity. And everybody says, well, where's the land? Well, the land is anywhere that they want to purchase property. It could be an existing subdivision, and they buy a house in that subdivision, and the land trust owns the property under the house. So they could turn around and sell the house at a more affordable price because of the land trust. Income that comes in helps develop more and more land trusts. So it's something that over time would improve. But the biggest thing is the house that's built on the property would be just like any other house in that property. So when we're saying affordable, it's because we're pulling the cost of the land out.
Awesome. Great.
So anyhow, that's
Okay.
trying to move forward. I've been volunteering to be on the committee, and just, I'd like to see Fishers be part of that. So.
Thanks for the
But
update.
I'd like to have our voice in there.
Thank you, Wilbur,
Sure.
thank you. Employment,
So we kind of took a little hiatus from our networking meetings for the summer, so we've kind of started to get back in the groove with it. We had the first initial one, I actually wasn't there, but our next one, we're going to be having somebody from CVS that's going to be talking about their employment initiative. They have a couple different things that range from doing anything from, maybe a little bit of exploration to serious training to just using that as a training site to move on to something else. So Sean Ware, who's from Minnesota, is going to be joining.
Oh, great. What day is that?
It's right on my desk, but I can't tell you.
I'll look at the
Yes.
calendar.
And now that the Fishers Event Center has been around for a while and they've worked out some of their kinks, and then also talked with the director there at the community center when we were there about some, all of those jobs are posted now about trying to make some connections and stuff.
It's October
I
21st,
was gonna
Okay.
say, yeah, right after it's after fall break.
October 21st.
8:30 a.m. You can attend in person or virtually.
Yes, that is true.
What's the date?
The 21st.
Tuesday, the 21st of October.
Okay. So is the event center and community center, if we can invite them maybe to that meeting, that would be great. If they're not already plugged in or
We reached
see
out.
what they.
We've reached out to him, but yeah.
We
you
can
can-
have,
Okay.
maybe
Yeah.
somebody help
See
do it
see
again.
what.
I
Yep.
think
Ashley
it's the
and
Fishers
Yeah.
That would be great. All right, thank you. Thank you. All right, community support.
Employment.
Any updates on?
Sure. So if you have individuals in your family or your, what you do for your living, I mean, most everybody's touched by people on the Medicaid waiver, which is the family supports waiver, as well as the community integration and habilitation waiver. You may know that they had a 30-day period where you could do public comment on the many changes that were proposed, including probably most specifically that people were bothered by service caps on rec therapy, music therapy, and behavior supports. There is a due diligence that the state goes through and is required by CMS, which is what are people upset about? What do people love? How do we respond to that? How is that going to be integrated into the CMS submission? And what we are actually doing when we renew a waiver or amend, and this is an amendment to a waiver, is the state of Indiana is renewing a contract with some changes with the federal government. And that is, it's complicated, but it's how we get funded with a federal match in Medicaid dollars. So long story short, my understanding is that amendment was submitted last week. We will begin to see a lot of training happening for case managers and service providers and families around those changes, how they will be implemented, and I will tell you that the effective date is currently targeted at December 31st this year. So it literally is going to change on the last day of the year, which is really interesting, and I don't know the reason why, but it is all going to continue to happen. So if you're one of those people that sometimes you get dialed in and sometimes you don't, this is a time to be dialed in because a lot of things are going to happen over the next 60 days.
Well, and I think even as, to piggyback off that, Kelly, as they look at waiver reset, I think they're calling it, then after this happens, then there's a next wave of taking all of the waivers that the state has and making some parallel lines through them and that type of thing. And so I think even this next 2 years is an important time to be dialed in.
Yeah, so the waiver reset is set for 2027, and that will take information that is gleaned from these changes, because there is a focus on fiscal efficiency, quality outcomes, and data collection to support why. And as that data is collected and informs the next steps, the hope is to have a waiver reset in the year 2027, which will be here that quick when you're completely changing a system. So lots going on.
Yeah, a lot of emails regarding this topic, so thanks for the update, Kelly, appreciate it. Networking and social and accessibility, Darcy, the fair was amazing. So we would
yes.
love to hear about all of that. And
Thanks. Yes, we had our second annual Accessibility and Inclusion Day for the Fishers Farmers Market on July the 12th. We had 11 booths, which was the same as last year, but some of the last minute dropped out. We had several be added, but it was amazing. One of our new vendors, she was so excited, and she did had such a good turnout and request for for product, that she wants to be a regular vendor at the Fisher's Farmers Market and wants to know how to get more involved. So she just absolutely loved it, had a great time. What is the T-shirt vendor place next to us?
I can tell you in a
Anyway,
minute.
they sold out of some of their T-shirts. It was great. We had the outside the box performers, loved them. We had the bowl dance performers again this year. They did a great job. And one of the cool things is that we had the ASL interpreters do a sign your name session where kids came up and they had their name signed and they talked with the interpreters. And it was just, and I recorded a video on that. It was just the coolest thing to see kids just want to know more about ASL.
There's
So
the
it-
vendor.
Oh,
Magic.
Magic Printing. Yes, that's the organization that prints the T-shirts.
And
that-
all
for
their
Fishers.
employees are hearing impaired.
Yeah. So we just nothing but really good feedback, new organizations. It was great. Everybody had fun. And, yeah, I mean, it was good. So we had a great
And
second year.
their T-shirts had the sign language spelling out Fishers in sign language across the T-shirt.
Yeah.
They sold out.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So I want to thank Wilbur and Jason. They stayed there the whole time, which really helped me. And then Molly was great in getting me the signs and just, I really appreciate the support from the committee.
That's awesome. Great job, great job. So for those of you that maybe didn't know about it, we had Inclusion Day at the Fishers Farmers Market, and we brought in vendors who have disabilities to, have a booth there and sell their items and information about disabilities and different providers of resources and our team was there kind of sharing and getting people to understand that we have a committee now and that we're trying to understand and learn what is the community needing, let them know more about what we do. So it's our second annual. It's something that I think every community, city, if they can do it, I think it's really working well here in Fishers. So awesome, thank you.
We even had an FACD table drape.
Oh, we did, and that was exciting. And new signs, it was great.
Wonderful.
Molly fixed this up.
Yeah,
Got
Molly-
fancy, new tablecloths.
Yeah, Molly
Sign
hooked us
it.
up, yeah.
Awesome, great. All right. We're going to move on. We're getting ready to finish our meeting here, but we're moving on to community comment. I didn't know if there's anybody in the audience that would like to come up and just share some information, talk to us. One of the things, Molly, I'd like to do is how we can get, I think some people aren't getting our information on our meetings, and so that's one of our goals, hopefully, to get that going so people know how to sign up, to know when our meetings are. And a lot of them are watching online. I mean, I know that, but it would be nice to have more people in the audience. There is someone that reached out to me, and I wanted to just share a little bit and make an announcement that on behalf of the Canine Companions, that September is National Service Dog Month. And it's a big milestone for Canine Companions. They were founded in 1975, and they created the modern service of a dog concept for people with disabilities. And this year, the National Canine Companions is celebrating 50 years of service dogs. And so for people that don't know, I just want to read off a little bit of information that was sent to me. Service dogs are integral to the independence of people with disabilities, and their life-changing work deserves recognition. So this month is National Service Dog Month, and Canine Companions 50th anniversary, and it was established in 1975, and they provide task-trained service dogs to adults, children, and veterans with disabilities, and facility dogs to professionals working in healthcare, criminal justice, and educational settings. Dogs and all follow-up services are provided at no cost to clients. Canine Companion puppies are specially bred raised and trained for their future careers. And just a few facts, 70 million American adults have a disability. There are only 16,000 service dogs from accredited programs in the United States. This is from 2022, the resources Assistant Dogs International. Canine Companions created the concept of service dogs for people with physical disabilities, training the first service dog, Abdul, in 1975. The organization currently serves people with more than 65 different types of disabilities. And Canine Companions has 8 locations serving the entire country. And they have more than 2,800 active teams throughout the country and have placed more than 8,200 teams since their founding. And so, really impressive. I guess there's people on the wait list, more than 500 people on the wait list to be matched with an expertly trained service dog. And would love to hear more about this group. I think, it's something that our committee, we haven't really highlighted service dogs. I think there's a lot of misunderstanding too, so maybe we could have them come and do a presentation and make sure that we're getting that resource out to people, so that's really important. So I just wanted to let you know about that. Are there any other announcements from anybody else before we adjourn? No? Okay. Great. Our next meeting is December. I know I was just going to put it out there so people know in advance. December 16th at 5:30 will be our last quarterly meeting for our committee of the year. So December 16th at 5:30 here in this room. So with that, if we don't have anything else, do I have a motion to adjourn? Okay. Second. Motion by Michelle, second by Kelly. We are adjourned. Thank you very much.
Where's the
Appreciate it.
gavel?
I know. Thank you.
Kelly, gotta go.